When talking about getting married, a big question on the table is, from the perspective at least of the person that's trying to get married, is how do I get on the other side of this situation over here? You're on the single side, you want to get on the married side. So it's ironic because there's the Chazal connect the concept of getting married with Kriyat Yamsuf. And in Kriyat Yamsuf also, the Jews were on one side and the ocean was blocking them from the other side and they had to get to the other side. So I'm not sure if they had this in mind when they made the connection, but I can't help but see the connection in that, being single and getting married is also requires getting to the other side of this, so to speak, ocean in between. And somewhere along the lines, you pick up the right woman or the right man and hopefully live happily ever after. I won't promise that you'll have a picnic, but picnics are boring anyway after a while, but you will have hopefully a good life with your soulmate. Anyway, rabbis tell us that getting married is as difficult as splitting the sea. When God split the sea for the Jews, so that's how hard getting married is. So now let me ask you a question. How hard is that? Is that hard? Who thinks it's hard?
You're comparing and explaining. I know they had to go up to their noses first before it happens. So.
Let's leave out some of the chazals for now. Well, let me give you the way I see this idea. I wouldn't say that splitting the sea is hard. I'd say it's impossible. Can any one of us split the sea?
No. Definitely against nature.
So splitting the sea is impossible. Or is it? So the real question I think we have to get to is, who is this teaching referring to? Is it referring to us or Hashem? If it's referring to us, then it's impossible. But if it's referring to Hashem, I don't think it's even hard at all. God created an entire world from nothing, maintains that world in absolute perfection 24/7. I mean, we get off on Shabbos, but someone's got to keep the world going. So Hashem is maintaining the world constantly, perfect. Now, you think it's hard for him to split the sea? The Sefer Tanya explains that splitting the sea is much simpler than creating the world. Let's imagine, creating the world from absolute nothing means bringing everything into existence the way it is and causing it to run the way it runs. Now, making the sea split only means to suspend or alter those forces momentarily. So what's harder? To momentarily suspend those forces and systems that you yourself created from nothing, or to do it all from nothing. So he explains it's a bigger miracle to create the world than it is to split the sea. So how hard is it for Hashem to split the sea? Not hard at all. That's the way I see it. So the question now is, what's the message? If it's impossible for us to split the sea, and it's nothing for Hashem to split the sea, so what are the rabbis trying to teach us? So I think the lesson is this. You have to know that getting on the other side is beyond you to do. It's impossible if you think you got to do it alone. If you're trying to get married alone, it's impossible. However, if you realize that just as Hashem was with the Jews when they left Egypt, He is with you also, and He's there helping you, making it happen, then it becomes easy. And the result is that really helpful for the person trying to get married. I remember in my days, I wish I had this advice then. It would have saved me a lot of sweating. I was, very, very nervous sometimes. If you realize that getting married is something that you don't have to do on your own, but Hashem's doing it with you, so then with Hashem as your partner, what's there to worry about? So that's the message. You have to relax, be calm, be cool, and realize that Hashem has got it under control. You're on this journey. If you imagine you're driving on the highway, and you're not the driver. Let's say, although you are active a little bit, but you're, let's say, the passenger with a little bit of, you can actively tell him where to turn. And Hashem's the driver. So it's a much simpler, easier on you to just be the passenger and go along with the flow. And in life, you'll realize that you're not in control of all the circumstances. So the truth is, without this idea, we are going to become overly frustrated in all things we try to accomplish. Any small endeavor, even the smallest business endeavor, requires the coming together of many things, many variables. If you want to try to overly control them all, you'll realize that you're going to fail. So we have to allow Hashem and His providence into our life to succeed in whatever we try. Specifically, the greatest thing that we're going to accomplish, the most important thing that we'll ever do in our life is probably choosing our soulmate, choosing our wife. The secular world pushes that off until they're done having their fun and making their millions or whatever they're trying to do. And then as a last resort, they got to grab somebody and get married to. in Judaism, and really any sensible person, if he would stop to think about it, would realize that ultimately, whatever you attain physically in this world doesn't come with you to the next world. You leave it here, or someone steals it. At best, you give it to your children, don't appreciate it. So what are you accomplishing with all what you amass in this world? However, the wife you choose to share your life with and the children that become a result of that union, that's yours. That's really what you have to do in this world. Only in making children do you become a partner with Hashem. It says that there are three partners in creating a child. Hashem, the husband, and the wife are three partners. We partner up with Hashem when we make our children. And so that becomes and is the most important thing we're ever going to try to accomplish in our life. So the advice that we're pulling out from here is to allow Hashem to help. And that means be calm, be patient, and do your effort, but without overly obsessing. That's the way I see it.